Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to talk about two Spanish prepositions that are very confusing for learners, por and para. My idea is to show you the different cases in which you use each of these prepositions, and at the end, I will show you a comparison so that hopefully you will confuse them less often. Okay, so let's start with the preposition por. We had several use cases for this. I will start with the simplest ones, with the ones that are less likely to make you feel confused. So, first case, it is the complemento agente, or to make it simpler in English, it's like a passive voice that you use when you want to express that someone or a group of people did something and that it's done by someone. For example, este libro fue escrito por Borges. This book was written by Borges. The second one, este proyecto fue creado por dos personas. This project was created by two people. So it is essentially equal to the English by in this context. Second meaning, it is used to express the means of exchange, the means of doing something. For example, envíamelo por correo. Send it to me by email. Or you could also say, dímelo por teléfono. Tell me by phone. Por teléfono. And with this pattern, you can basically use por for any type of means of doing something. So you could also say por carta. Carta is letter. Por televisión, through TV or on TV. There are many ways in which you can use por to explain the means in which something happens. Third case, it is to express the why, the reason, or because of. For example, ella lo hizo todo por ambición. She did it all, or she did everything for ambition, or out of ambition because of ambition. This answers the question, ¿por qué lo hizo? Why did she do it? And often the response in English will have the form of out of or because of. Lo hago por ti, I do it because of you. Okay? This would be, I do this because of you. Another example, por pensar tanto, no haces nada. Because you think so much, you do nothing. Or because you're thinking so much, you're not doing anything. So here it has the function of because of. Right? So let's move on to the fourth case. It is used for cases of exchange or substitution. First example, te doy 5 pesos por este libro. I give you 5 pesos for this book. Te cambio esta remera por tu pantalón. I exchange this t-shirt for your pants, for your jeans, or whatever other word you have in English. So it's basically used when you're exchanging things. Third example here, hoy hice la tarea por él. So this one's interesting because it could mean two things. It could mean that you did it because of him, right? Or for him, but it could also mean that you did it in his place. So it's a substitution. You were there for him or instead of him. The fifth case, it's for time intervals. Viví en México por 2 años. I lived in Mexico for 2 years. Or estuve en Madrid por 2 meses. I was in Madrid for 2 months. Sixth use is to indicate repetitive things or certain ratios. For example, 2 días por semana, 2 days per week. Or 100 kilómetros por hora. That means 100 kilometers per hour. As you might have noticed, this is equivalent to English per. The seventh case, por is involved in several idioms or phrases in Spanish that you should memorize, since all of these words are used together. Por las dudas means something like just in case. It's the same meaning as por si acaso. This is used kind of as a warning anytime that you're going to say just in case. For example, llévate un abrigo por si acaso. Bring or take a coat whenever you're going out, just in case. Por si acaso. Por las dudas. Right? You use por in that type of phrase. There's also the expression por lo menos, which means at least. For example, por lo menos hoy no hace calor. At least today's not hot. Eighth use is to indicate movement in a place. But here's the difference with para, since para might also be used with places. Here, por indicates movement within or through a certain place. For example, I can say, camino por la playa. I walk through the beach, or I walk around the beach, by the beach. Right? So you're just walking there. Same with por las calles. I could say, todos los días camino un poco por las calles. Every day, I go out and walk a little bit by the streets. Right? So here, the important point is that you're not saying you're moving towards a specific destination, or you don't have an end point or goal, right? You're just moving inside the same place, within the same space. There's another use of por for movement. And you could say, pasé por, I pass by or stop by a certain place. Pasé por tu casa. That means I pass by or stop by your house. Okay, it doesn't necessarily mean you stop. It just means you were doing something, you're walking or driving, and then you saw the house, you passed right by it. You might or not have stopped, but in Spanish, when you say pasé por, it means you just crossed the house. You saw it at least. So that's another example in which you must use por. Now, let's go to the preposition para. Para is also used for motion, but it indicates direction. It implies direction. For example, I can say, voy para tu casa. That means I'm going to your house. Voy para tu casa. It implies moving from point A to point B. it implies a direction. Same as ven para acá, come here. This literally means come here. Ven para acá. Or if we say it pretty fast, as it's common, ven para acá. Right? It's like these two A's connect a little bit. So, of course, here it implies a sense of direction, a sense of completing the process of moving and getting somewhere, switching from where you're at right now and coming here. Now, the second use case, para, is also related to explanations or causes, but it is usually indicating purpose or goal. For example, el tenedor se utiliza para comer. The fork, or a fork in general, is used to eat. Here we're indicating purpose. Then the second example says, complete este formulario para postularse. It means complete this form in order to apply. So here it has the translation of in order to. Third example, para ganar el juego hay que, I can finish the phrase by saying something like hay que practicar. Para ganar el juego hay que practicar. In order to win the game, one must practice. So here, it is translated as in order to. Third use case of para. This one is a little bit easier to remember. It's like when you want to gift someone something, when you want to give something, you would say, for example, este regalo es para ti. It is for you, right? So you are the destination or the object that receives my gift. The fourth use, it's to express opinion, perspective. For example, you could say, para mí, esto está mal. For me or to me, this is wrong. This situation is wrong. It could have many meanings, but essentially it means I think this is wrong. Another example could be, para ti el chocolate es rico. Is chocolate tasty for you? Para ti? By the way, this is a question. I forgot to write the initial question mark. So I should correct that. The fifth use case is comparison. For example, para ser niño, eres bastante inteligente. For a child, you're pretty smart. Okay, so here you can use para. Para ser niño, for a child, you don't use the verb to be there as in English, but it's implicit. Then the second one, another example. Para lo poco que estudió, le fue bien. Given how little he or she studied, he or she did well. Again, for comparisons. Para lo poco que estudió, le fue bien. 6 case deadlines or specific dates. For example, ¿para cuándo necesitas esto? When or in what date, which day do you need this job, let's say, or this specific task? When do you need it for? In Spanish, you can say, ¿para cuándo? And you can answer with something like, para el lunes. Para el lunes. For Monday. Okay, so now that we've seen the main use cases of each preposition, let's compare situations in which you can use both prepositions, but they have different meanings. So you can say, lo hice por ti, and you can say, lo hice para ti. But what's the difference? If you want, you can pause the video and try to think about it and figure it out yourself. Try to come up with an answer as to what's the difference. So go ahead, pause the video, and come back. So, what's the difference? When you say lo hice por ti, you're giving, again, a reason, a because of. I did this because of you. Well, lo hice para ti implies giving something for someone, kind of like a gift. For example, este vestido lo hice para ti, no para tu hermano. This dress, I did it for you. I plan on giving this to you, not for my brother, no para mi hermano. So again, it's like the destination, like the person to whom this action is targeted. What's the final person that this needs to get to? Meanwhile, por just implies that you did this because of something. Lo hice todo por ti, or lo di todo por ti. I give everything for you. Second case. This is quite tricky, but you could ask both por dónde vas and para dónde vas. So, por dónde vas implies that you're in a specific place and you're moving in that place. Let's say the beach, same example as before. But it could also be used more abstractly. For example, talking about a project. Let's say that you're assigned writing a file. And so you're in the process of writing, right? You have a starting point and you keep working. And your coworker might ask you, ¿por dónde vas? This means, at what point are you? Or how, it kind of implies, how are you doing with this? How are you taking it? Por dónde vas is like, at which point are you right now? And there you could say, voy por el comienzo, voy por el final, right? But it implies that you're staying kind of in the same place, the same space. Meanwhile, if you ask, ¿para dónde vas? This definitely implies direction. It means, where are you going to? And it is very physical, not so abstract, right? Because it implies that you're going somewhere. The third example here, which I think kind of summarizes the whole difference between por and para when it comes to cause and effect, is ¿por qué hacer algo? ¿Por qué hacerlo? Why do it? Versus ¿para qué hacerlo? Which would be like, what to do it for. You see, ¿por qué hacer algo? Means why do something. ¿Para qué hacerlo? Implies a certain result. A what for. ¿Para qué? For what? ¿Por qué? Simply why. So I think that kind of summarizes it. Por should be used when the answer is because of, and para is generally when you want to answer in order to. I hope you can tell this difference. I hope this makes it clearer for you. And let me know what you think about the video. Let me know if you want more examples or more explanations about this specific topic. So that's been all for the video. I hope you have a nice day and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.